What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. As we continue on our Indie Comics weekend, I have a great treat for you guys. A longtime fan to the channel had sent me all 12 issues of Marvel Comics' run on Captain Planet and the Planeteers. This is Captain Planet issue number 1. A story written by Barry Dutter and Jim Salitscrup. The penciler is Jose Delbo. The inker is Mike DiCarlo. After the huge success of the animated show, Marvel Comics picked up this and they decided to do a 12-issue run with a publication date of October 1991. This is the origin story. This is where it all begins. This is Captain Planet and the Planeteers. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you like this video. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we jump into this issue number 1, I am very excited for this because Captain Planet was a very big part of my childhood. With me being born in 1990, Captain Planet was one of those shows that was on all of the freaking time. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I never read the comics. It has probably been 20 plus years since I've actually watched Captain Planet. I know as a kid, it was 100% my cup of tea. We're gonna dive into the comics, we're gonna re-look at it with adult eyes. We're gonna see exactly what this has in store for us. But this is our origin story. The story picks us up with Hoggish Greedley, the greediest man who has ever lived. And right now, Hoggish is doing what he does best. He is making a pig of himself as they make their way across the land in what they call a land blaster. They are able to drill anywhere that they choose, even in this wildlife sanctuary. Their plan is to take as much oil from the ground as they can. As they begin to dig deep within the earth, Gaia, the spirit of the earth, she sleeps. She has rested peacefully for hundreds of years. But this has awakened her. As Gaia watches Greedley drill through the ground, she says that the earth is dying, that the time has finally come for the rings. She needs young people, some very special kids from 5 corners of the globe. They will be entrusted with a ring, and they are to be the defenders of Earth. We have Conway from Africa, we have G from Asia, Wheeler from North America, Linka from the Soviet Union, and Mati from South America. These are the first of Gaia's Planeteers, the greatest hope of Earth. The rings glow brightly as Gaia teleports all of the children to her home. As they are teleported to Hope Island, all of the kids are obviously confused. This is when Gaia goes to explain that her name is Gaia, she is the spirit of the earth. They have all been brought here to save the earth from ruins. Of course, the children asking, what could we possibly do? That we are nothing more than a bunch of youths. This is when she goes on to explain that each of their rings have a unique power. For instance, Linka from the Soviet Union, she has the power of wind. As she yells out wind, we see a little bit of a tornado formed up. This tornado engulfs her, and she finds herself falling down to the ground. Kwame has the power of earth. Wheeler having the power of fire. G having the power of water. And last but not least is Mati. He has the power of heart, with Gaia letting us know that this one is the greatest power of all, because without the heart to guide them, the other powers are useless. And through him, the others are always linked no matter where they are. They will be able to hear each other's thoughts. They can sense each other's feelings. The heart ring is the ring that connects all of them together and makes them one. while none of them truly understand the full extent of their powers. Right now, they have to get out there. They have to go fight against Hoggish Greedly. With him drilling into the ground, she sends them out. As they all jump into the ship, Gaia still with them in spirit, letting them know if things get out of hand, all they have to do is combine their powers together. That is when they will see the true surprise. And so, as the Planeteers make their way to Hoggish, he begins squirting them down with oil. This knocks them out of the sky, barely able to make a safe landing. They get out of the ship and they realize that they are severely outnumbered. Not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, they decide it is time to combine their powers. Each of them lifting their rings to the sky. They shout earth, fire, wind, water, and heart. The beam from the rings, it meets a nimbus of energy. As it grows brighter and brighter, the 5 elements merge to form one being. A being created from the very earth itself. By their powers combined. This is Captain Planet. That is where we see Captain Planet. He dives into the water. The first task at hand is to stop all of this oil that is spilling up from the earth. It is polluting the waters, and so he creates a tornado underwater. This begins to suck all of the oil down into Earth's crust, throwing a giant boulder right into the crack. This appears to stop all of it from coming out. And that is when Captain Planet, he goes after Greedly. He seems to easily be taking down this machinery. That of course is until he is hit with some toxic sludge. This toxic waste, this is a weakness to Captain Planet. It begins draining all of his strength. The Planeteers not sure what to do, not sure which way to go from here. They recognize the globe on his chest, that it is glowing, but it is slowly dimming. And so they get the idea that they need to splash some water on him. Being able to go and collect some water, because their rings do not work while Captain Planet is out here in his form. They gather the water and they rinse off Captain Planet. With him recharging, he is able to take that giant robot and he chucks it as far as he can. With Hoggish being able to escape, at least for today, the battle has been won. In a flash, we see Captain Planet disappear, the power going back into the kids' rings. As the Planeteers begin cleaning up, they know that their days ahead, they are going to be adventure-filled, they are going to be eventful, and they are going to save the planet. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, there's definitely people that would say that this cartoon is quote-unquote woke because it focuses on climate change, it focuses on pollution, all of these things that were really hugely mainstream in the 90s, the late 80s, the early 2000s. This is the era where recycling was heavily pushed. If you went to public school like I did, then you probably saw all the cartoons, saw all of the ads, everything that was pushing for a recycling world, because recycling, it really wasn't a popular idea. Not until the 90s and early 2000s did recycling really grab hold and take place. And I think Captain Planet and things of this nature were really an effort to get children, under the idea that recycling is a cool thing to do. Because at the end of the day, that's all Captain Planet really was. He was a superhero that told you littering wasn't cool. That you need to do right by the earth, you need to do right by your environment. Now, all politics aside in the current day and age, these aren't bad issues. These are actually great things that kids should be knowing, should be doing, and should be taught, at least in my opinion. Not to litter, to take care of your earth the best you possibly can. These are great things to instill in any child. Captain Planet is really just a fun way of talking to your children about pollution. And while the story, it definitely needs to be flushed out a little bit. It is funny that we have just 5 random kids that Gaia decides to grab hold of and give them a stupid amount of power, and then throw them right into battle without even knowing how to properly use these powers. Either way, I think it's fun, I think it's enjoyable, I think it's really wholesome, and it's definitely something that we're gonna continue covering for the next 12 issues of its Marvel comic run. But let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories. If you would like to get completely caught up on everything that we have going on the channel, be sure to check out all of the links in my description as well as the top of this video. It is gonna get you completely caught up on everything that Comic Breakdown has coming out. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having 5 different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to getting free comics every single month. Not only does this help out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do any of this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.